Check 1 2.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Make sure you're in the yellow.
Yo, in the yellow. One, two, 1 2.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and to God be the glory. After a hard-fought campaign, you got me for 6 more years.
Now, I'm not going to make any excuses now because we put up one heck of a fight. And I said, that's what we got to do.
I'm ready to build a stronger Georgia. God bless you. Keep the faith and keep looking up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is the G Podcast. Episode 157 is in the building. Yes. Nobody gonna break my soul. Congratulations, Warnock. Just congratulations. That's all I have to say. Welcome to the G Podcast. I'm your host, Tommy B, co-host Tanya B. Bauer here. And again, just congratulations to Senator Raphael Warnock. Thank you for saving us from Hershey the Vampire Hunter. We appreciate you so much, sir. Yes. And let me just say, overall, Warnock won. If you don't know, if you were under a rock and just turn on the podcast and said, who won? Well, Warnock, 51%, 49%. Warnock's voters were in the urban areas, college educated, and of course, heavily non-white. Warnock won in the early in-person voting. And he also won in the early by mail voting. So in person early voting and early by mail. And Walker had the edge as people expected. People expected it to go this way, the edge on the election day numbers. And we'll get into a few more numbers as we get into news after Syracuse Mike. A whole lot more is coming up. But a win is a win is a win.
That's right.
And, it was crazy because it was such a national scourge on Black people. I had Black people calling me from everywhere saying, I know y'all ain't gonna let that nigga win. I mean, it was, how many of y'all? I mean, Tanya B, you here. How many?
Let me tell you something. I had people that didn't even use the N word. They used the M word and followed by the F. So it's like, it was a little tense for a while. But I'll admit that.
My friends
people act like we got it, like it's awful. Like we put them up there.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I had people calling me from
Europe. Like the black people pick Herschel. We didn't pick him.
That's what I'm saying. But I mean, people from everywhere. I knew, like I said, I had people, who listen to the podcast maybe from other countries, and like, if we could vote, if only we could vote.
They said he was mad that that everybody, he was in state of shock that everybody from Johnson County didn't vote for him.
What? Wait a minute. What did he say?
Johnson County, that's his hometown.
Oh, please. The Black people hate him there.
They hate him everywhere.
It's the Black people in what is, I mean, I forgot the city.
He told the sheriff, we need to find out who didn't vote for me in Johnson County. We got to deal with them.
Look, when he showed up for a campaign rally there. The only black people who were there was his family. Okay, that was pretty much it. The black people had said, we gave up on Herschel back, when he was at UGA, because whenever we needed him, we'd call on him, and he wouldn't show for us, but he'd show for them. So he let it be known who he was for back in the day. So it is what it is. Again, I just hope he never runs again. Get out of it. I hope they.
Oh, I don't think I'll worry about that.
I think he embarrassed. I wouldn't put it past. Yeah,
at least he do it independent. The Republicans, they embarrassed. They just had to stick with it.
Well, I'm gonna get to you're right about that, Bob, because I'm gonna get to that after the news. We'll talk about his partner in crime up north, or really down south. Mar-a-Lago is his new headquarters. So we'll talk about that in a few. But anyway, each week we do news, politics, pop culture, piping hot tea from the one and only. Y'all give it up for Tanya B. Yeah. Friday and Saturday nights, 8 p.m., 10 p.m. Saturdays at noon. The Bird Wire. What you got going on? What's up for the holidays? You're gonna be doing something special for the holidays, right?
Yes, we're gonna have a ladies' first Christmas, which is 2 hours of music for the holidays by all females. Then I've got the Bird Wire R&B Christmas Jukebox, and that will be about like 8 hours of music. And I will say this: I will not be playing Silent Night by the Temptations this year. Everybody else is doing it. No, I found a better version by Gladys Knight that doesn't get its credit. And I'm playing a lot of the more contemporary or the newer Christmas music. So you don't have to hear the same old thing over and over again. A lot of artists have put out a lot of good Christmas music just this year and last year. And that's what I'm going to do. So you don't have to get up and change anything. I'm going to give you enough music to cook your Christmas dinner, your brunch the next day, and to prepare for New Year.
I know you didn't tell people you're not going to play Satellite Night by the Temps.
Well, no, I'm playing it, but I'm playing another version. There's more to life in Christmas. Well, you need to go somewhere else then, because you ain't getting them on the Bird Wire unless I fall short and need something to fill in.
Okie. Okay. All right.
Sacrilege.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Tanya. I'm gonna give you some applause.
Yeah. Vi, let me just say this to you, Vi. Are you listening?
I am.
In my mind, and that's all
that's
you
what I'm saying. Connie, okay.
In my mind. Don't come for me unless I send for you.
But you know what? When I play basketball, I play high school basketball, right? And we, basketball season we had a holiday tournament and stuff. So in the locker room, we'd always be singing that before the game. You know what I'm saying? That's how big it was. So Tanya B, okay. All right, Tanya B.
No, I know it's a classic. I want to give people alternatives and additional options. I'll just leave it at
indeed you are. Okay.
Yes, I am. Listen to me now and believe me and thank me later.
Okay, good deal. I can't wait for it. But anyway, he is here. Y'all heard his voice already, expressing his displeasure. The one and only country commentator, the pride of Forsyth, Georgia, coming to you from Columbus, Georgia. Y'all give it up for Vi in the building.
All right, people. Peace in the house.
Vi, I gotta go. I gotta go there, Vi, because USC quarterback Caleb Williams won the Heisman as we said Monday. He won Saturday night. He's the first USC player since 2005. Reggie, got to give it back. Bush, took his Heisman back in 2005. Basically. So you said it. He deserved it. Okay, so good stuff. Now let me ask you about something else. We're gonna move away from that. Is Trae Young, the Nate McMillan Trae Young feud spilling over, or is it done?
It's not done, brother. It's not done.
Why do you say? I'm curious. Your thought?
Because they're not gonna let it go.
Who's not gonna let it go?
I don't even think Trae gonna let it go.
You don't think so?
Nate want to let it go because he know his job in jeopardy, but Trae ain't gonna let it go.
Yeah,
he might depend on what it goes. Because they said Trae did not. They said Trae did not even want it to go public.
Yeah,
he tried to keep it in house. So,
the reason I'm bringing it up, Vi, is because Trae bought a house apparently.
Yeah.
In L.A.
In L.A.
Was it a $20 million mansion? $20+ million
mansion? Sure did.
And I was on Twitter. Somebody was talking. I was telling somebody, Trae over the last few summers has been working out on the West Coast. And last year, well, this past summer, he worked out with Steph Curry, and I said to them, I said, look, that means something. I said, if he's building relationships with people on the West Coast, I know a lot of the, go ahead.
He's working out with the best.
He's working out with the best.
And I thought he was working out with I thought LeBron.
No, Steph Curry, but his game ain't like LeBron. His game like Steph.
Yeah, it is. A lot
little man game.
Little man game. And if you're gonna learn from anybody, and if Steph willing to teach him, go get that. Go get it.
And the reason I say it's an issue, and y'all are more than welcome to hit us up on our lines and social media, because Steph's not going to be playing forever. Steph's at that point where Golden State might be looking at the heir apparent to somebody like Steph Curry on that team.
Yeah.
So, if I am the Hawks, and I'm looking at a situation like that, because if Steph were a rookie and they're working together as rookies, that's cool. Steph, how old is Steph? Because I know Trey is 24.
Steph's in his 30s, I think.
Yeah, so Steph's in his 30s. So my thing is, Golden State's got the money. They just built a brand new, spanking new, multi-billion-dollar arena. Yep. And even though Trey's under contract, they'll eat that contract up. That ain't a huge contract for them to eat up. That's all I got to say. But anyway, I will say to a lot of these hillbilly sportscasters in Atlanta and Georgia who keep, these, basically, I love UGA and the Braves, but I'm gonna criticize Trey sportscasters. I'm gonna say to you, y'all keep going, keep it up, because you know what it reminds me of more than anything. It reminds me of the way they did Dominique. And when Dominique left, I know Dominique was at,
that was Lenny. Lenny traded.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that, yeah. And my point is, I know it was like toward the end of, Dominique had already really gotten his highlight reels in Atlanta. But my point is, there are a lot of people who were pissed off about that and left the Hawks, and a lot of them never really went back.
The Hawks had finally got a good team, real good team, and you get rid of Dominique. Come on,
it was crazy. And see, I'm telling you, it just I'm old school. I go back to Pete Maravich when they got rid of Pete Maravich because of the Lou Hudson craziness. Hey, I know that's old school, but then
we don't love Trey like that yet.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you, man, y'all keep talking, keep on talking. One more thing.
Go ahead. Love. He ain't got it yet.
Oh, dude, come on. Another show. But let me say, it is another show. I'm just telling you, trade him and see what happens to the franchise.
It'll go down.
It'll go down.
It will.
They'll be like the Falcons.
Speaking of the Falcons, Desmond Ritter's the quarterback. You happy with that?
I am. It's time. Ain't but 2 games left. It's time. That's 2 games left, right?
No, more than 2, 4. You got 4 games
left. Yeah, it's time. Yeah, cause we out of it now. Then again, I don't know. Cause it looked like
Brady getting the socks beat off.
Like if he lose today, we back in it.
No.
Karma.
Karma. Hey, but you know what? Let me say this, and we're gonna get into news. We're gonna get into news. Let me say this. For those of you, we tape the podcast on Sunday, so we're taping as the San Francisco game is playing. And San Francisco and Tampa Bay. But what hurt me the most is to see Deebo Samuels go down, man. Oh my God. This dude, the best player with San Francisco, goes down with a knee injury. And
Deebo?
Yes. I didn't know Deebo got
hurt. Deebo from Fridays?
No. Hey, okay. No, Samuels from San Francisco. But the reason I say that is because the way he went down on the field, it's a real, they had to take him off on a cart. So it's one of those injuries where really and truly it looks like he's going to probably be definitely out for the season. And, it's going to be an extended injury. So I just wish, to folks who listen to us on the West Coast, if you're, a San Francisco fan, but more than anything to the, the folks who are fans and connected with Samuels, I hope the best. I hope this brother's not out extended. He's a hell of a player. He works hard. He is one of the best in the freaking league. And to see him go down like that is just disheartening. But when you see that leg twist back, it's going to be something serious. And it's crazy. But anyway, all right, y'all. appreciate you. We had to do our little sports talk. I had to get that in there because we in the middle of it, y'all. It's just so much. There's so much going on. We're gonna come back. Let's do news with Syracuse Mike. We'll come back right after this. Here we go.
News team, assemble!
It's time for the Week in News with Syracuse Mike.
Democrats in South Carolina are surprised to hear that President Biden wants their state to be the first to vote in the 2024 Democratic presidential primaries. Even Congressman Jim Clyburn, a longtime South Carolina Democrat and a key Biden ally, didn't know about the idea. He is pleased and wants to see it happen. The Congressional Black Caucus had endorsed Nevada to become the first in the nation state. The full Democratic National Committee will still need to vote to approve South Carolina as the first state for their primary. A jury in New York has convicted the Trump Organization of criminal tax fraud. The former president's legal problems have overshadowed his decision to run for office again. Although Donald Trump was not personally on trial, prosecutors insisted he was fully aware of what was going on. Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg.
As the jury addresses indicated, this was a case about lying and cheating, false documents to the end of evading taxes for the benefit of individuals and the corporations.
This trial focused on a 15-year scheme where executives got a ton of off-the-books perks to make up for lower salaries. And that was designed in part to reduce the company's tax liabilities. Bill Cosby is being hit again by 5 women who, for some time, have accused the comedian of sexually assaulting them early in their careers. They have filed the latest lawsuit that also includes studio and production company NBC Universal. The lawsuit was filed this week under New York's 1-year window for adults to file sexual abuse complaints. The lawsuit alleges that each of the 5 women was abused or assaulted by Cosby after meeting him on set or through other entertainment activities for several decades into the 90s. Atlanta police have arrested 2 teens in connection with a November 26 shooting near Atlantic Station that left 12-year-old Zion Charles and 15-year-old Cameron Jackson dead and 4 others injured. A 15-year-old and a 16-year-old have been arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder, aggravated assault, and a gang-related charge. Surveillance video was used to identify the young suspects. Both were students in the Atlanta public school system. The 16-year-old was arrested in New York. Now that WNBA star Brittany Griner has been released in a prison swap with Russia, President Biden is facing criticism for not including former Marine Paul Whelan as part of the deal.
The deal that we got with Ms. Griner was the only deal we could get, and now was the only moment we could get it.
White House National Security spokesman John Kirby. Whelan has been jailed since December 2018 on espionage charges his family and the U.S. government deny. In a phone interview with CNN, Whelan said he was happy Griner was released, but expressed disappointment that he is still being detained. Mr. Biden stressed the U.S. won't give up on trying to bring Whelan home. So what's next for Brittany Griner? After leaving Abu Dhabi and arriving in San Antonio, Texas, she will receive medical care and will be reunited with her wife, Cheryl Griner, and her parents. We will update you later. A big political surprise and not a good one as far as Democratic senators are concerned. Arizona Senator Kristen Sinema says she is leaving the Democratic Party and changing her party affiliation to independent. Sinema will not caucus with Democrats or Republicans and suggested that she intends to vote the same way she has for the past 4 years. Her move also means Senator Joe Manchin will now hold on to some, but not all of his huge power in the Democratic caucus.
Yeah.
They should make a rule. If you run and win as a party, you cannot change until you decide to run again.
Bob, would you say that one more time, please?
They should make a rule. If you're gonna tell your state that you're gonna run Democrat, Republican, and you win at that, and you win, then you want to change? No, that means you lie. So
amen, brother.
Be able to change till it's time for re-election.
Period. Amen.
Period.
That's what I'm saying.
This King your way.
But you know what? She knows she's gonna have problems. I'm not even gonna sit here and justify anything Sinema does. It's all about money.
It's a Democratic. Money. That's a Democratic state. They're not gonna vote for her no more because they see what she's doing up there.
Well, it's not really a Democratic state, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. There are enough Democrats there to run her out.
There's enough Democrats to keep up. They get her back. They not let her win office again.
Yeah, and because they're already pissed off at the results they've gotten so far. Yeah. You know, with the since Biden's been in office. So yeah, I agree with you.
From my understanding, they said the independents don't want to need her.
Yeah. it's all about for her. I think she, instead of making an announcement that she won't be running again, she's just gonna try to suck up as much money as she can before she gets up out of it. That's the way it looks to me.
That's
I
all
know
she
what
be-
she can.
Tanya,
Yeah,
That's all
she
she
just
be
need-
doing right now anyway. Sucking up
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, go ahead.
just let her go to California and join the Church of Omarosa. They'll take anybody.
Okay, all right, there you go. Let me tell you in reference to the Warnock Walker campaign and the runoff. This is like the green list. You know, they have the green list, the counties not to go to in Georgia. This may be this election and this runoff, this midterm may have showed us the counties we may not want to go to. Okay. Now, these are some of the counties in Georgia that voted 80% for Herschel. So you may want to make a note of these counties. If you go through Appling County, Bacon, Banks, Berrien, Brantley was over 90% Herschel.
But they only got 10 people there.
But still, Dave,
Okay.
But
Dunson,
they're just one of
Echo.
you.
yeah, Echoes. That's right, just one of you. Franken, Glasscock was over 90, Habersham over 80, Hurd, Jefferson Davis. The name says it all. Jefferson Davis, that county.
Do they still have that daylight law over there? If
Dude,
you're
that-
black and
the
it's daylight,
sunlight.
if sunlight, when the sunlight gone and you black,
That's what I
you better
call
be in
it.
your house.
Yeah, the sundown counties. That's what we call them. And then Murray, Pickens, Pierce, and Pike. Those all were the counties who voted for Herschel over 80%. So just want to mention that.
Pike
Yeah.
County?
Yeah, Pike was over 80% Herschel. Yeah.
Dang, not Pike County.
And I started to go back, but I wanted to be fair, and I'll say, okay, anybody over 80%. There are a lot of them over 70% and 60% too. So I'll leave it at that. Biden still remains underwater, though, in terms of his polls. He saw a spike. I think he's at 46% now, popularity, 54% people who think he's doing a poor job, according to CNN. And you know what? I don't drink the Kool-Aid. Honestly, this win, and I'd like your thoughts about this. I think this win was more about bad candidates versus
It was bad candidate.
Democrats. And it really was about the Republicans just failing, on a level. I mean, I think, it's kind of like when your competition is that bad. I mean, Mitch McConnell said going into it, he said the quality of our candidates are going to cause us to lose. And again, I mean, I think, when it comes down to it, it's a failure for the Republicans to divest from Trump, and its candidates. And also Trumpism, I think, is on the decline. So
Right.
if anybody right now,
Trump.
they're tired of it, and I think that says a lot about it, in terms of, seeing a lot of his handpicked folks losing. So also problems, and we'll talk about this toward the end, but problems are mounting for Trump. Trump.org, as Mike mentioned, conviction in New York with his Trump organization. The July 6th organization is recommending criminal indictments, and I'm sure they got to say his name. And most of his handpicked candidates, as I said, are losing. And plus, the big thing is they're finding more documents at Mar-a-Lago. So it's a mess. I mean, I just think, dude, if there was any point in time where the walls were closing in, this is that point in time. Tanya B, you shaking your head.
No, I agree with you. And I understand they also found some documents in a storage unit somewhere in Florida as well that were removed from the White House. I guess they tried to hide them or try to get them out of Mar-a-Lago and put them in storage, but they were found as well.
Yeah.
So it's got, it's not a crime.
Trump would just say, I'm not going to ever run again. They might leave him alone.
Well, you know what? I mean, honestly, Vi, I think that might be a bargaining chip for them for if they use it. But honestly, and this is what I've been. Yeah,
it's
go
probably
ahead.
too late. It's probably too late now. Because they already, the charges against him now. It's probably too late.
But I've been saying to people, it's not about his concern for the country. This is about dude staying in jail. I'm not going to jail and not losing all his assets. He's just trying to protect himself right now. That's pretty much what it's about.
He's never been about the country. When he was president, he was about the country.
It's all about him and putting more money and getting money because he doesn't have the money. It was all smoke and mirrors. He does not have the money that people always thought he had. And he clearly is not as smart as he fooled people into thinking that he was for so long,
Yeah.
writing those books and making all these deals. He didn't even write the books. So
Yeah.
now, it's almost like the covers have been pulled back.
And
Yeah,
they never
so
had
true.
that money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So true. So true. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is.
Now then, children, it's time for tea.
It's tea time, y'all. Sipping the tea with Tanya B.
Tanya B. What you got? What you got?
Okay, well, we're going to start off first with the celebrity prayer list. I'd say prayers up big time to the legendary Tina Turner. Just a few short years ago in 2018, her son, Craig, committed suicide. And now just a few days ago, she lost her son, Ronnie. Now, Ronnie was the only son that she and Ike actually had together. He had, had some ups and downs in his life. He battled cancer and came back. He had some addiction issues. He came back from them, but allegedly neighbors found him outside of his home saying he couldn't breathe, and he passed away. Also want to say, we had Al Roker on the prayer list. He was in the hospital. He got out. He went in, with the whole thing with the blood clots in his legs and lungs. He went home, and sadly, he is now grieving the loss of his sister, Patricia. So he's lost his sister as well. Cher's mother, Georgiana, died at the age of 96. Now, people say you remember Cher from Divas. I remember Aretha Franklin, Mariah Carey, and Mary J. Blige from Divas. But, Cher does have somewhat of an iconic status, especially in the LGBTQIA.
No, so Celine was Divas, 98.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, she's got the frozen person syndrome, which is something that's very rare. So it's going to affect her ability, her mobility, and her ability to sing. And then Jan Gay, who was a second ex-wife of Marvin Gaye, she was the basis for his 1976 album, I Want You. She passed away. She's also the one that started the lawsuit with Blurred Lines with Robin Thicke. But I got to say this, she wrote a book, and, a lot of people know that she was half Marvin's age when she met him. She was 17, which probably was illegal. But anyway, very tumultuous marriage would make for a great movie if it ever comes out. Did you know? And I have to say, allegedly, they had somewhat of an open marriage, but she was on the creek with Teddy Pendergrass, who was also dating Dionne Warwick, and that was messy. But then after Marvin Gaye put Frankie Beverly on, took him out of Philly, moved him to California, Jan also was on the creek with him. And I just say the rest is very much of an amazing R&B story.
Quick question on her. Is that Nona's mom?
Nona, and then she has a brother, Frankie, that is also the son that Jan had with Marvin Gaye, named after his brother, who had a really hard time when he went to the war, and Marvin Gaye was, writing what's going on. And just to give you a little bit of history, for those of you who don't know, remember this name, Dorothy Pittman Hughes. She was a pioneering Black feminist. She was actually the co-founder of Ms. Magazine, but Gloria Steinem really got all the credit. She was always one that was out front, as Ms. Magazine and their brand. But Dorothy Pittman Hughes was, the woman who co-founded it with her. She passed away at the age of 84. And she's also from a town, Lumpkin, Georgia. So may she rest in peace and sleep in power. And thank her for her unsung contributions to the movement, because everybody looks at Gloria Steinem, but it wasn't just Gloria Steinem. Okay. I'm going to make this real quick because we don't even talk about Kanye, and I don't like talking about R. Kelly. But, in case you missed the memo, there was an album that came out on Friday called I Admit It. And it was like Chris Rock says, grand opening, grand closing. The album was up on streaming platforms, but by 3:00 on Friday afternoon, it was taken down. And what's interesting is, I guess I got to say this, in one of the songs, R. Kelly makes a reference to the parents of all of his victims as being jealous of him and blaming them for letting their daughters come with him. But karma. But here's the gag about
knife.
This.
Dude, what is
exactly? Yeah, y'all jealous because I got girlfriends. No, we're not jealous of you. Okay. But here's the gag about this whole thing with this album. The album actually was up on SoundCloud in 2018, so it is not. I repeat, it is not new. What happened is this is distributed that's connected to Sony. That was a label that dropped him back in 2019 after Surviving R. Kelly came out, and their distributor In Grooves, which is the one that put it up there, then they claim they knew nothing about it. So at the end of the day, it's down. I did hear some of the songs. They are really good. Other people should record them, but then you don't want him to make money from royalties. But at the end of the day, I just thought it was a bad stunt, because R. Kelly's claiming that people did that to keep him from getting out of jail. But honey, you got 50 years. You're not getting out, whether you admit it or not. Okay, I'll just say that. So for those of you who don't know, that was the story of R. Kelly's album, I admit it, and I admitted that I don't want to hear any more of it. So
Next.
get ready. I know, right? Get ready. December 22nd, Peacock Network, and this is on the free platform. And you'll have to just bear with it with the commercials and deal with them, but it's free. Best Man, the final chapter. 8 episodes back to back. You don't have to wait week to week. They'll be up there all at once. And one of the main characters, Terrence Howard, who in Best Man plays the character Q or Quentin. We know him from Empire as Lucius Lyon. He says again that he's going to retire from acting. We'll see about that. But all I can say is please, 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 in the name of James Brown and all that is holy, do not make another album. We're not going to listen to it. We're not going to hear it. We don't want to see it. And we're not going to buy it.
You're wrong. Go
You're
ahead.
wrong.
No, I'm right.
Yeah, you're right, but you're wrong.
Okay. I was right.
What else you got?
Okay.
Tanya?
And this is just another, this whole thing we have been talking. I hope Nick Cannon's doing well. He's been in the hospital with pneumonia, got another baby on the way. And I just thought it was rather comical for Mariah Carey to come out and say that he needs to spend more time with the twins that she has with him. Exactly. Monroe and Moroccan. And I said, Mimi, there are not enough hours in the day now. So I don't know what you're expecting. Just take your number. And when your sandwich is ready at Nick Cannon's Deli Bar and Grill to go, they will call you.
Cloning.
We don't need any more Nick Cannon. With no cloning, he's got all these kids out here. Please, that's enough. Stop with the madness. But one thing I will say, Mariah has this. She's not the queen of Christmas, but she is doing a Christmas show that has been sold out, and her daughter Monroe's been joining her on stage more so than what they did at Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and we'll have to see if she can sing. It was a little difficult to hear, but it was just cute that, I hope that if her kids do end up in the business, they don't go the way of their father and have 99 kids. And I just hope that her daughter, doesn't end up being a casualty, like a Whitney Houston. And that's all I got. Ain't got no more.
Good stuff, Tanya B. But you know what? I think, the whole Terrence Howard thing, they had mentioned that he said this before.
He did.
And, but I will say Terrence Howard has not gotten the kind of roles that a lot of white mainstream actors have gotten, and a lot of his stuff, with the exception of maybe Best Man, which kind of keeps him connected with the black audience, the mainstream.
Well, Hustle and Flow does too.
Yeah, Hustle and Flow.
That's with the hood. But let me just say this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Howard, as you said, hasn't gotten those kind of mainstream roles, and I've had experience working with him, is that he does not know how to get out of his own way, and he can be very difficult. You don't go to a national interview, get there and don't talk, stand up and turn your back to the audience when you're trying to sell that butt booty album you had out. So part of his whole thing is he has to learn how to get out of his own way.
Okay.
And he was the original the friend of Tony Stark in Iron Man.
Yeah, but he talked about that. It was interesting because he said it was cool until Disney took over. He said
they didn't ask him to come back.
Yeah, when Disney took over, they asked him to take a pay cut.
Take a pay cut.
Yeah, they didn't want to pay.
They want to get all the money to Tony Stark.
Yeah. So the whole thing was, according to an interview with Terrence Howard. When Disney took over, everybody's bag changed from, even what's her name? What's the actress's name who played Tony Stark's girlfriend?
Oh, I
don't ask me.
It'll come to me in a minute. It's crazy.
Her.
It'll come to me in a minute. But anyway. All right, y'all. Appreciate you, Tanya B. All right, let's go ahead and do this.
What you watching this week, Tommy B?
All right, y'all. Hey, I just a quick thing, and I'm gonna get to this toward the end. I did get a chance to watch Emancipation. and I'm just going to leave it at that.
I have a question.
I watched Emancipation. I'll talk to you about it at the end of the show.
Okay.
But when I do my tops to watch next week, which I'm going to do the tops, the final show, our live show for this year, I'm going to put Let the Right One in among my top shows. The finale was this week, and it's not in my top shows because I like horror. Okay, a lot of folks, well, you like horror, you like that kind of stuff, popular vampire movie. It's just a good story. It's compelling, well acted, and the 10 episodes that I watched, of course, the finale was this week, really drew me in, and it makes you believe and feel for the characters. The season finale, of course, was interesting because it leaves it open for another season. The challenge they're going to have is the numbers. The numbers aren't there, and it hasn't done big numbers throughout the season, and that's unfortunate. But I don't think it's because it's not a great show, and it's not. I don't expect it, and I'm not saying it's a perfect show. I just think it's Showtime. Showtime has a history of leaving shows like this out to dry. You know, they don't do a lot of marketing for the shows, and honestly, the show like this, which is more of an ensemble cast, it doesn't have that one big star other than Anika Noni Rose. They just kind of left it out there. I don't think they knew what to do with it, if that makes sense to you. Another example, I'll give you another example of a show they did like this, The Man Who Fell to Earth, with Naomi Harris and Chiwetel Ejiofor. You know, they basically put the show out there. If you liked it, if you knew the stars, you had to go find it. And, you know, and then when you found it, you didn't really see external marketing to kind of help you understand what it was all about. So Showtime just has this history outside. The only show they don't do like this, in my opinion, because Lena Waithe's involved with it, is The Chi. And The Chi just does an amazing job in its network. Lena Waithe's a hell of an influencer. She's hellacious on social media. The cast is on social media. It's got great Black leads throughout. And, you know, but if your show has a Black lead or it's a diverse cast on Showtime, it just doesn't seem to me to have much of a chance. So, you know, I will say to the folks, because I really liked this show. I thought it was well done, and much respect. I'm going to shout out the cast. I don't normally do this. From Dreamgirls, you know her, Tanya B. From Dreamgirls, Anika Noni Rose, our always Black Disney princess, Madison Taylor Baez, who plays Eleanor on the show, Damien Bishore, who plays the father, Fernanda Andrea Day plays actually the mother, Grace Gummer, Nick Stahl. If y'all remember, nobody remembers the show from HBO called Carnival, but Nick Stahl was on that show. Ian Foreman, who played Isaiah, Jacob Buster, Kevin Carroll, Jimmy Sato, and all the other cast members. Just big thanks. It was a good experience, and they really deserve better. I'm gonna say that. And knowing Showtime, knowing Viacom, I'd be surprised if they got a second season. I can only hope that somebody else comes in, like maybe Sci-Fi. It gets picked up, then it goes to Peacock, and they'll give it a second season, because, you know, you guys have had a favorite show and then it ends and there's no closure forever.
Several.
You know
Several.
So, and it's sad because, you know, and in my opinion, the solution would be film like an alternative ending that will give the audience closure. And it's just really kind of sad. I just wish they consider approving, you know, these types of series, but giving them a limited series option so that they can finish the season. Let them finish the show. You know, I think a lot of people on Twitter are saying that, so at least we can get closure on the storyline. So shout out to, you know, the folks who did this, you know, Let the Right One In. But, you know, just looking at the numbers, they finished the season 1. It's just going to be a challenge. Again, with Showtime. I just don't see Showtime. Hulu, different story. I think Hulu does a better job at promoting its series. I think Amazon, in some cases, does a better job because they can give you that marquee. You just never know I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It just seems like you never know what you're going to get when it comes down to Showtime. Tanya B, you had a thought? You were looking?
No, it was just that, you know, you talked about how, you know, Showtime is much like other networks. There's a great movie that Lettucey put out. They didn't promote that at all. Nobody knew about it. But then you also, like you said, with the Hulus and the Peacocks, you know, they are great at cross promoting because, yes, they are owned by other networks, but you always see, you know, those shows on Peacock being cross-promoted on the Today Show like crazy. You see, you know, Hulu shows being promoted like crazy on Hulu. Hulu, is it Hulu? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I think Showtime should just take a page from the book of. And the thing is, like you said, they have these shows, nobody sees them, they cancel them, you know, but then they keep going up on their monthly fee and nobody's paying for it. You know, I mean, look, I know where to get Showtime bootleg. They're not getting money from me.
But anyway. You know, you're wrong. Views and opinions expressed. But anyway, allegedly. But I will tell you, because as someone who kind of went through the Viacom camp, as part of a merger, they can be cheap. CBS is it's an older network. You know what I'm saying? Most of the shows are either sports, or the shows tend to, appeal to an older demographic, the younger end, and if they put you on BET, it's gonna be a commercial every 5 minutes.
Forget it.
I mean,
but on BET they're gonna show it 55 times a week, though. I'll give them credit for that.
But you know what? I'm gonna say this, and I'm not, I love my people. I'm glad there's regardless. I'm glad
what's left of it.
Mm-hmm. I tried to watch what's the movie Training Day with Denzel on BET. I swear to you, as soon as it was like, I'm gonna have you doing time at Pelican, here come a commercial. The commercial break lasted about 15 minutes.
Thank you.
Like, oh
yes.
My God. I mean, Denzel couldn't get the whole line out before the commercial break jumped in for like 10, 15 minutes. It's just like
I can't deal with that kind of stuff. I can't deal with that kind of stuff now.
I tried, and I try to give it support, but damn them commercial breaks on BET. Oh my God. I know they got to pay the bills, but damn. Woo, Lord. Okay. All right, y'all. All right, let me see if I can do this. All right, hang on. Here we go. And now it's time for
a G or not a G.
Hey, this is going to be short and to the point this week. The state of Georgia voters and those who work the entire state to get out the vote, thank you for not allowing Hershey the Vampire Hunters election, which would have set us back to Reconstruction. We salute y'all. Get your rest and enjoy the holiday season.
Or not a G.
Now, don't get me wrong. Not that he's ever had a chance of becoming a G, but the walls are closing in on Donald Trump, y'all. Not only are all his handpicked candidates losing, but his New York organization took a major hit legally this week. The January 6th committee is about to hand out criminal referrals, which may and should include his name. The GOP is slowly moonwalking away from him, and his appointed judges are saying, Donald who? The entire holiday season is shaping up to become a visit from the ghost of Christmas past. For the Donald, sorry, not sorry. And that's it for this week.
A G or not a G.
So many names, so many people, but that's all I'm going to do this week. Y'all give us a shout out. Hit us up on social media. Go to castropolis.net. Your feedback, we'd love it. I know you got some folks you'd add to the list, but there you go. Tanya B, final thoughts. I mean, just let's go around. We got some time. Anything you missed? You want to chat about?
I just always say this is a time of year when, although people say, 'tis a season to be jolly and things like that, a lot of people, are still suffering from, and they have a lot of trauma, and it seems to manifest this time of year. So I just want to say to people, don't feel like you are the only one. I just say, like, for me, it's a really contentious time. We're about to celebrate the 22nd anniversary of the murder of my cousin, the sheriff-elect Jerome Brown of DeKalb County. We still go to the gravesite for him and his wife and his son.
How many years?
22 was December of 2000.
Wow.
So although, it's still, I still deal with it, and it seems like it's been a long time, but it really hasn't. So I just want to say to people, don't feel like you're the only one that feels some type of way, and don't, it's exhausting to fake the funk. Don't fake it if you don't feel like it, and it's okay if you're not okay, but it's not okay if you don't do anything about it. So know that there are resources out there based on your income. There are resources that are still free. So please, get over the stigma that people of color seem to have, even still to this day, and know that, if Joe Biden's putting out $27 million a year for mental health resources for people, please take advantage of it, and it's okay.
Amen.
Happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, Feliz Navidad, and Happy New Year.
Good stuff. Vi, you got anything that we skipped over? Something that
no, just happy holidays and spend time with your loved ones. Like we always say, no one's promises tomorrow. Enjoy it. Family is the best time to get around. If you ain't seen, spend some time with them, because who says they're gonna be here next year? So Christmas, I know it's our generation, because the patriots are passing away, and we're not doing that good a job of keeping our families together, having these big family reunions. So hey, do it, people. Cook.
Yes, we were talking about that the other day, Vi. It's interesting because in Atlanta, especially like the SWATs Southwest Atlanta.
Mhm.
You had all these, prominent families, a lot of these generations where, the grandkids, I mean, it's kind of like that Medea's family reunion. The grandkids out of control.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Control.
Yeah.
You're right. They are out of control.
They have just, the houses, everything's like, so you gotta, I mean, if anything, man, you just gotta, I guess, be hopeful and pray for these newer generations, man.
Real
Because
deep. I hate to say it, but real deep bad kids in.
yeah,
Let them know it's not
Mhm.
okay. What you doing is not okay. It's not. I don't care.
so
I don't care. It's still not okay.
yes, I'll say it with that. All right, a couple of things I missed, and I want to make sure just to get it in this episode. Next week, when we do episode 158, that's going to be our final live episode for the year. So we'll try to get in as much of our year-end stuff as we can. But we didn't get a chance to say it, and I gotta do that. Who are the people in your neighborhood? My guy, rest in power, Bob
McGrath.
Sesame Street, good friend of mine, actually, I think roomed with his daughter, at Emory, and said he was just as nice of a guy in person as he was on Sesame Street. But, that was my generation, being a Sesame Street kid growing up. My kids, he had influence on the kids. And just always just a golden, never heard about him kicking somebody's dog or doing something stupid. Rest in power, Bob McGrath. Just Bob.
Yes.
That's all we knew him as, Bob.
Uh,
But that, and also just FYI, Kindred this week. One of those great sci-fi classics that has always been a book by Octavia Butler, is becoming a series on FX December 13th, and it's about multiverse, where this woman goes in and out of antebellum to current day. I know it's crazy because we got these slave narratives with Kindred and Emancipation happening like right before Christmas, but I am going to check it out. It is, as we tape today on Sunday, it actually starts on the 13th, which is Tuesday on FX. I did get a chance to check out Will Smith's Emancipation, and I had a conversation with a good friend. You know his name, Howie. and one of the things, there's still a lot of people who are kind of salty about Will's behavior.
Get over it.
I've gotten over it. Like right after he slapped him, I got
I'm
over
serious.
it.
You know what?
Okay.
I find this interesting, Tommy.
But I get it. But I understand why some people still have a problem with that. Go ahead, Tony.
And one thing I found that's interesting is, with most movies that come out, like you look at Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, it's almost at $500 million. Any other movie, they tell you what the receipts have been. I've been looking and talking with people, and the people in the box office have been very, very tight-lipped about how much money Emancipation has made since it came out. It was in the theaters for a week. Now it's on Apple Plus TV. Yeah. And nothing has been said.
It was never really intended, honestly, Tanya B, to be a moneymaker at the box office. I think the release into theaters was simply for it to be considered for award season. I saw it. It's a really good message. You got to get through some of the brutality of slavery. But I will say this, the message kind of fits the season. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I will say the message of the movie is a faith message. It's heavily faith. And it does, if you wonder, like, why are they dropping a movie like this close to Christmas? It kind of has a heavy faith message within it. And as I was watching it, I said, oh, okay, I can understand why. Okay, but go ahead, Tanya.
Now, one thing this just in case you haven't heard, 3-time NBA championship player and coach Paul Silas has passed away at the age of 79. So shout out to him. He was one of those guys, back in, I guess, like the heyday, it was 60s into the 70s of NBA, when the players were really amazing, didn't get their just due.
Yeah,
but
he had a nice shot.
Yeah, he has passed away. Yeah. And I believe it or not, he was LeBron James' first head coach, believe it or not. So
rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yeah, Paul Silas, baby. Yes.
And just a couple more things. couple more things, y'all. We didn't get to him this show, but Jackie Chan, Rush Hour 4. I just hope y'all got stunt man. I really do. It's just gonna be hard for me knowing Jackie Chan and Chris. Now, y'all seen Chris Tucker lately? Have y'all seen Chris? Okay.
Well, he lives in Atlanta.
I know, like around over.
You see him over
on the south side.
You can see him over there at the Kroger. He's over there at the Publix at Camp Creek, honey. Yeah.
Chris had stunt man when he was young. You think he had none now?
Yeah.
Well, he was smart. That's why he's not banged up. But they're at a point where stop trying to be like Bruce Willis and Sylvester Stallone. You know, get in where you fit in. And yes, there's somebody out there that if they're smart, they'll do that.
I just don't see Jackie Chan. Because how old is Jackie? Y'all Google how old is Jackie Chan?
He old as Chuck Norris. What are they, 60, 70?
He ain't trying to get out there.
And Chris is not.
You know, I just hate they're doing Rush Hour 4. They waited too long, man. It's
they
like
did.
The generation who really appreciated Rush Hour is
Chris has lowered the price now. Chris needs money.
Because Chris got money problems. Chris need a bag now. People let me say this: the people
the issue. But go ahead.
He's owed the IRS anyway. Most of the people that cared about Rush Hour 3 are the same people that have moved on that used to care about Missy Elliott. That's all I'm saying.
It's just curious. I'm curious as to whether or not that generation is still going to come out in numbers.
I think they've moved on. Think they've moved on.
I'll be there.
I moved on.
I'm not going to the movie to see it. I'm waiting to come on Peacock or Netflix.
Yeah. Okay. When I hear it was funny. One movie came up and one of like the younger generations, the 20-something said, "Who is that?" You know, it's just like Bruce Willis. Who is he?
Who's he?
You know, who is he?
Exactly.
That's the kind of thing that kind of like makes me wonder, like, who's gonna go see this? The other thing is, you know, Jill Scott is doing the Who is Jill Scott anniversary tour, Tanya B.
Oh, really?
And I got but I gotta say this, Tanya B. You know these people. Will you go to them and say, please do not remix the whole damn concert. Play the songs the way we remember the songs and let us enjoy that album.
Thank you.
Because every concert, you know this, Jill comes out and it's like she go-goes she'll do the whole show, all the songs under one groove,
one beat, like Chuck Brown, all night long.
Yes.
All night long.
It was the biggest complaint from people because when they first see Jill in concert, they say, "Damn, girl, can I hear the song the way you sang it on the album?" You know, I mean, what do you think? You from Philly? Do people?
Oh no, I live there. I'm from Boston.
But I'm just saying.
I don't. Now, see, the people in Philly, they won't care. If she came out there, you know, again in one shoe and sang, care just because people in DC wouldn't be mad because that is, you know, the holy throne of Chuck Brown and all things Chuck Brown. But again, when you go and see Shaka Khan, when you go and see, you know, if rest of the soul, if Luther was still out here dipping and doing it, you want to, Patti LaBelle, you want to hear those songs as you remember them. You want to hear them when they, you know, were relative to, you know, a serious, you know, a time in your life that makes you feel good, bad, or otherwise. If you're doing that, then she needs to call it the remix tour, not words and music.
I mean, do you remember, Tanya? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely. I'm just saying.
Annoying. It's annoying as hell.
Well, you know what it's like? It's like when you go to see somebody in concert, Frankie Beverly, listen up, you know, and they can barely sing anymore, and they want you to sing the songs, or they are like the OJs right now. Eddie Levert is the OJs. This guy, I hear he's good. I don't care. The OJs and Eddie Levert, same thing. So I don't want to go and hear somebody else sing your song. I go to any bar and lounge in America. So, you know, give me my memories. You know, I think people want the memory of it. They don't want the remix of it.
But Who is Jill Scott is just an amazing freaking album.
Oh, it was. It was.
And when I go, I want to feel the vibe that I felt from that album live.
Right,
Correct.
that you
And-
felt in 1999 when it came
That's what I
out. That's
wanna
what
hear.
that's where you want to be. I get you. And with the price of tickets now,
Yes.
I really, if that, if it's not going to be that, if it's going to be the remix tour, then I'm just going to sit home and wait. I'm gonna pull out my CD, okay, or I'm just going to go to a Jill Scott concert from 2000 on YouTube and watch it and be done.
But
with
it's
it.
like she's been doing this for a long time, like with
Yeah.
these concerts where she comes out and remixes the whole show.
And she stopped working for a while. Luckily, she has something else to fall back on. But
Mhm.
if she doesn't, if she tries to do this again, I think people are gonna, outside of people in Philly and a couple of surrounding states, they won't show up. They're not gonna show up.
Yeah, what'd you say, Vi? Go
She
ahead.
does more acting than singing these days, don't she?
Well, I mean, yeah,
She don't
the
have a
shows that
deal.
she had,
Yeah.
but she's not really. Yeah. I mean,
Recording
you don't see her in much as currently, but yeah, that's where the opportunity when she was doing the stuff with Tyler Perry. Why Did I Get Married? The series, yeah.
And she
Well,
had
don't
her
forget
own-
she was
had
in
her own
Baggage
show, didn't she?
Claim. She had the
And
remember she had
her
that.
own show on HBO.
Yeah,
and
that.
she
But
was
you know what?
detective.
The First Ladies Detectives Club. That
Notice
was
my face.
that
okay.
was some Harvey Weinstein mess. Let's keep it moving. And then now she's doing well with First Wives Club. And,
Well, did well.
good for her. No, it's
It-
coming back. I
coming
know it's
on.
here's one thing, Tommy B. I know you like TV and movies, and please help me understand. Help the people and myself understand. Peanut and them too.
Mhm.
Is there any rhyme or reason except for either money or laziness? Or I know COVID changed things, but these folks need to realize if you stay away from a show too long, by the time you come back, like The Sopranos went away for 2 years, and this show went away for 2 years, and you come back to it, people have moved on, and they just have forgotten about you. Do you know what the rhyme or reason is with that?
I think, but I'm gonna say this, Vi, and I'll throw it to you. With The Sopranos, that's on a whole different level because The Sopranos is a culture. You understand what I'm
That's
saying?
true. Yes.
When The Sopranos leaves and comes back, that's a whole different thing. When you're talking about the First Lady Detective show, which really didn't get a lot of traction, if your show didn't get a lot of traction, it's kind of like what's the show? The Flyness show that's coming back on HBO right now, and it's a weird show. It's by the guy the director out of Dallas. It's on HBO. It's on Friday nights. I love it. It's like a sketch show, but it's weird. It's very much on a weird tip. But it left for a few years, and a lot of it did have to do with COVID. But for those who appreciate it, it's an underground show. They're going to really come back to it because it's so odd and so unique. I think with shows like First Lady, if you're kind of an average, you're trying to do a detective thing, you got to stay in the mix. You got to stay relevant. So I think it's going to be tougher for her to come back, especially if she's playing with HBO Max, because HBO Max canceling everybody.
Yeah, but you know what? I heard they're gonna slowly fold everything just back into HBO, and HBO Max is gonna go the way of CNN Plus, which didn't last more than 5 weeks.
Right now they're even talking about it's just gonna be called it's just gonna be called Max. I mean, they're changing a lot about it. I mean, they can't. Issa Rae had a special, it's a different show from Rap-ish that she was doing, but
you're right.
But it got canceled. I mean, the list of cancellations was just kind of mind blowing. Coming out of that nobody knows what they're going to do with Cartoon Network yet, or Adult Swim. Nobody knows what they're going to do. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of changes going on at HBO Max. But quite frankly, these people got to make money. I mean, ultimately, if your show ain't pulling an audience and ain't making money,
well, you
they're
see,
not going to keep it.
E's laying off a bunch of people. CNN's laying off a bunch of people. They gutted. Was it HLN? They gutted that. And one thing I'm afraid
Robin
for
Mead is gone.
When you talk about that, Tommy B, the black version of the One D is why is that off for so long? It's basically already been filmed.
Which one? What's this?
The black version of the One D is with Dule Hill that was on ABC. What's ABC? I know y'all need to cut corners too, but what's the problem? Okay, go ahead.
Well, they had a problem with what's his name, who was the original Kevin. They fired.
They got rid of Fred Savage, but then
but
they filmed some of the show because Patti LaBelle was playing. I forgot Dule Hill's mother, and that's already been filmed.
Well, we'll see. But I'm here to tell you, they probably started making money with Brunson and Abbott Elementary, and said, the hell with that.
Yeah.
We gone.
All right. Well, yeah, and I know, and if you think
when
about
they grow at a time.
that her TV show, even those that knew Quinta Brunson from Comedy Environment, once you come and say what you got to say, but Abbott Elementary to me has more heavy hitters because you got Cheryl Lee Ralph for the Black people, you got Lisa Ann Walter for the Italian American people, then you've got Tyler James Williams, the people that knew him from Everybody Hates Chris, and then you've got, I forgot her name, the principal, she's another comedian, so they had a little bit more of a high profile cast than the Wonder Years, unfortunately. And now, Vi, you were going to say,
go ahead and you wrap it, Vi, and then we'll go to benediction. What you got? Last word, Vi.
If they had to have a strong following, I mean, some like a cult, like some people like just crazy about the show who just want to see it. If you stay away, like you said, too long, there's not. Some of these shows just coming back because I think they're like they last ditch. The HBO's, Netflix, but they're just getting desperate. They're not getting enough new ideas, so they're just bringing back the old ideas and see if anything can latch on.
Yeah, so true. All right, Vi, you ready for benediction?
I am, my brother. I am.
All right, here we go.
Have you ever felt that no one cared what happened to you? David had a good reason to feel that way, and he wrote, "Hear my cry, for I am very low." Through prayer, we can pull out of our tailspin and be reminded that God cared for us deeply. Psalm chapter 122, verse 6. Listen to my cry, for I am in desperate need. Rescue me from those who pursue me, for they are too strong for me. But it's saying, people, you are never alone. As long as you believe in God and got God on your side, never feel alone. Pray. Talk to him. He will give you strength to go through anything you're going through. So people just remember, you are never alone. And also, people, I know I say that all the time, but I really mean it. If you need someone to talk to, call your family, brother, sister, mama, or friend in college. They'll be glad to hear from you. I know I will. So people, talk and pray. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Go ahead, Vi.
Hallelujah.
Let the music play. There you go. Let the music play. Can Tom Brady call you? Right
He
now?
can.
Because he alone.
He might not want to hear what I got to say, but he can't call me. I would say, Tom.
As I'm watching 35-0, he is alone.
Tom, hang it up. Hang it up, Tom. Don't come back next year. Hang it up.
Speak, brother, speak. All right, y'all, again, big thanks. Vince the Voice Bailey. I got to just big thanks, man. Thank you.
Can I borrow some money, Tom?
There you go.
I don't want to borrow. Tom, can I get a grant?
No, that's what's his name? Who stole the money in Mississippi? Call him.
Don't call Brett Favre.
That dirty money.
But anyway, let me say big thanks to Vince the Voice Bailey, Karen Renee out in East Point, and also with the NAACP. All those who work so hard to get the folks out to vote, the organizers, the volunteers who were literally knocking on doors. They were knocking on my door. Yes, they were out there.
Oh, wow.
Just congratulations to all y'all. And we appreciate you. Thank you so much. And with that, episode 157 is in the can. And we are out of here, y'all. Peace and power to the people. Have a great week. Talk to you next week.
Merry Christmas, people, and a Happy New Year.
Put your mask back on. COVID numbers are up. Indoor mask mandates are on.
Yes.
Unfortunately.